Hello, good evening. It's time for the business segment here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, is pushing for the required fiscal support to help drive down inflation. Inflation picked up marginally over the last 2 months, forcing the Bank of Ghana to increase its key lending rate to 30%. Dr. Addison insists that monetary measures alone cannot deliver expected results and should be complemented with tight fiscal programs.
This is really what is happening globally. Everybody is focused on bringing inflation down, right? So I would have answered that yes, you will continue to see policy tightening until we get inflation where we want it to be. But we also cannot look at it in isolation because monetary policy alone cannot deliver that low inflation. So we expect that the fiscal side of the work would also have to come in with, the appropriate fiscal consolidation and tightening would also help us, in a sense, not to have this persistent increases in the policy rate. But clearly, globally, everybody is focused on bringing inflation down. Financial Stability Fund, the regulations are ready. I believe the minister, after the mid-year review, would make some, provide some clarity on the Financial Stability Fund. So let's wait to hear that later on this week.
Now, the government recorded a cash deficit of 14.6 billion cedis in the first 5 months of this year. That's according to the monetary policy report by the Bank of Ghana. This is equivalent to 1.8% of the size of the economy against a target of 4.0%. There's more in this report.
According to the Bank of Ghana, 11.7 billion cedis of the cash deficit was financed from domestic sources. Total revenue and grants amounted to 44.9 billion cedis as of May this year, about 5.6% the size of the economy. This was short of the target of 54.6 billion cedis. Also, total expenditure was estimated at 59.5 billion cedis in the first 5 months of 2023, about 7.4% of the size of the economy. This was far below the target of 82.8 billion cedis. Meanwhile, the primary balance, which is the difference between expenditure and revenue, excluding interest payments, recorded a deficit of 1.2 billion cedis in the first 5 months of this year.
Now, some businesses have described the increase in the policy rates as disturbing for firms in the country. The Bank of Ghana has increased its key lending rate by 0.5% to 30% due to concerns about rising inflation rates. Chief Executive of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedu-Aboagye, noted that the development will complicate the current challenges facing industry and result in further shutdown of businesses.
Much as we would have loved to have the policy rate either maintained or reduced, the signs were clear on the wall that it's likely to go up because inflation, which is a key determinant of the policy rate, was going up. It moved to 42.5. So definitely, from my point of view, I was not totally surprised that the policy rate was increased marginally. But marginal may be subjective. 0.5% increase in policy rate is relatively high, but it is coming on the back of already high policy rate of 29.5. So if you add a 0.5, you're having 30% policy rate. That's the minimum. And you know that anytime the policy rate goes up, the lending rate definitely will go up. Bank will respond positively by increasing their lending rate. So we are likely to see an increase in lending rates in the next few days. Already it's high. People are borrowing at 45%. So if you even add 1 or 2% and we are having a lending rate of 46, 47, I mean, no business can survive under these circumstances. Wow. So it's a very disturbing news and things are getting worse just by the day. I mean, if you combine all these things and other cost of doing business, we realize that we are definitely killing businesses in this country. One of the days where if interest rates are high in Ghana, people are able to get funding from outside at a lower rate. Now, because of our current economic situation, our investors are also being skeptical about bringing in money. Secondly, the only source that we also get to invest in our businesses is when we make profit and we reinvest. Businesses are not making that profit, they are making losses, only if you are breaking even. So that part is also closed. So it's a difficult situation. So if you want to expand, you will shelve that idea of expanding because you can't borrow at 45% to expand. Even those who want working capital are not getting it because cost of credit has also gone up significantly. So businesses will just, those that are producing, will produce at a minimal level that will not cause them to go and borrow. Those that cannot survive definitely will close down. And this is obvious. I said it the last time that you have been visiting some companies and some of them, they have closed down and people have been laid off. It is real. And if you continue on this tangent, the number of unemployed people will go up.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries is asking industry players to be heavy on corporate social responsibility to ensure sustainability. This, they believe, will go a long way to expand operations for more profits. According to the Chief Executive Officer for the association, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, it is imperative for corporate institutions of all sectors of the economy to not cut budget for CSR. He spoke to Joy Business at the 2023 edition of the National CSR and Sustainability Conference organized by the Center for CSR West Africa.
Corporate social responsibility is to promote the contribution of firms to the socio-economic development of communities within their sphere of influence. According to Seth Chuma Kwabwa, more CSRs will yield positive and sustainable impact towards the achievement of the principles of the Millennium Development Goals and sustainable livelihoods.
Your profit is only sustainable when the workers, your environment, your community, and everything. If you make profit today, it does not guarantee you profit tomorrow. And for every business, what you want to do is to be able to sustain the profit. You may make a small margin today, but if it's sustained over a long time, it will accumulate to very heavy profit for you. So businesses understand this principle, that the profit you make is not only for today, it's also for tomorrow and the next day and the years ahead. So therefore, you must operate in a responsible manner that guarantees success, that guarantees sustainability.
He reiterated the need for corporate institutions to work on expanding their CSRs. The Center for Corporate Social Responsibility West Africa is a leading sub-regional CSR and sustainability advocacy organization registered in Ghana. The 10th edition of the National CSR and Sustainability Conference was under the theme Shaping the Future of Businesses Sustainably Post-COVID-19.
To agriculture now, and a Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Yaw Frimpong Addo, has underscored the need for government to adopt small fishes into the diet of young people under the school feeding program. According to him, this would help boost the fish industry, create more jobs for the populace, and contribute to economic development. He spoke at a national workshop to disseminate a policy brief on the inclusion of small fish into the Ghana school feeding program.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations believes Ghana's fisheries resources are untapped and underexplored. Hence the call for the inclusion of small fish in the school feeding program. Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Yaw Frimpong Addo, said including small fishes in the diet of the school feeding program will not only increase the nutritional level of students, but also contribute to the growth of the fish industry and create jobs.
The inclusion of small fish in the school feeding program will provide a significant boost to our local fish industry and create a demand for small fish, thereby supporting local fishermen, fisherwomen, and fish processors. This will contribute to the growth of our economy and provide livelihood opportunities for many. The number 3 is sustainable food source. Small fish are highly sustainable and abundant in our coastal waters. By promoting the consumption of these fish, we can reduce the pressure on larger fish species, allowing them to recover and maintain a healthy ecosystems. The number 4, finally, nutrition education. In addition to including small fish in the feeding program, it is crucial to educate our children about their nutritional benefits.
Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Mavis Howard-Kumsin, added that the ministry will work towards ensuring that authorities under the school feeding program acquire small fishes at affordable prices.
My ministry is committed to ensuring the production of safe fish for consumption in Ghana. The ministry will ensure that the necessary linkages are created to ensure the availability of fish to stakeholders in the school feeding program at affordable prices.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations launched a policy on the inclusion of fish in the school feeding program to deepen knowledge on the importance of small fish to socio-economic development.
These programs are within the FAO and Government of Ghana Country Programming Framework, which aims at supporting the government achieve the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG number 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 4, quality of education. Distinguished guests, every day, millions of school children consume food during school hours. And in many lower middle-income countries, including Ghana, a school meal constitutes a significant part of their diet. It is therefore essential that the food available in schools responds to children's nutrition priorities and needs and align with the possibility of their local food system.
The European Union, as part of moves to strengthen its economic partnership with Ghana, has joined the International Trade Center to provide support for coffee farmers in Ghana and other African countries. The move forms part of an initiative by the two global partners to promote sustainable farming and open up opportunities for farmers. Here's more in this report.
The program, which began with a baseline report on coffee production in Ghana, seeks to provide support for smallholder farmers to increase the production of their crops sustainably. According to the first Counselor of Trade of the European Union delegation to Ghana office, Raphael Kwaito, this initiative will ensure that Ghanaian farmers benefit from some added value on coffee products and market access in the European Union.
We want to make sure that the partnership that we have is a real partnership, so that European importers, producers, traders, actors in the sector of coffee can really partner with the Ghanaian companies, in particular with the Ghanaian farmers, which I think is the key sector that we want to support in this project. And also the other actor in the areas. So we have the traders, we have the marketing people, we have the roasters also, which I think is important for making sure that the added value is kept in Ghana, so that Ghana benefit of the value addition of the coffee sector.
The International Trade Center is pledging commitment to ensure that farmers are producing according to the internationally acceptable practice in order not to lose out in the market. Here is National Coordinator Alliances for Action Ghana Sector and Enterprise Competitiveness, Lawrence Atipo.
These days, if you go and cut new forest and you plant your coffee, nobody is going to buy it. So you have the coffee, but was it produced according to environmental and human rights standards? So that is a big differentiator. So if we start producing our coffee in a sustainable way, the market will switch naturally to us. Because the legislation, especially in the EU, is saying that if we find that you cut new forests to produce this commodity, you can be fined up to 5% of your turnover. That is huge. Nobody wants to do that. So the importers and everybody who buys coffee wants to buy coffee with a story, cocoa with a story. So once we have a good story for our coffee, it will be not only appealing to our youth, our young people, our producers, but also to the markets, and we can optimize income.
President of the Coffee Federation of Ghana, Chief Nathaniel Ebo-Nsako called on government to initiate steps in making coffee production attractive to many farmers.
Cocoa doesn't come anywhere near coffee when it comes to foreign exchange. And yet, as a country, we have the arable land, we have the youth, we have everything that can help us to get coffee. To the extent that even the lands that have been degraded and destroyed by the illegal mining can be reclaimed to produce coffee. The Robusta coffee can do well on those lands. Other crops wouldn't do well, but the Robusta coffee can do well and help us to even revive and rehabilitate such lands. And then it will end up giving us foreign exchange.
On that note, we end business here on Joy News Prime with me, Beverly Broom. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good evening.